Well, good from Northern Ireland. Samuel here. Today is the 31st of October. My word, where is this year going, huh? Time is definitely speeding up. Speeding up for whatever reason. Interesting. Yeah. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good wherever you happen to be in the world. May you have a wonderful day, or I sincerely hope you have had a wonderful day, whatever and wherever time zone you happen to be in. Carlin McGowan, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Yes, just gone 8 o'clock, and today is Thursday, the 31st of October. Yeah, the information for this evening is a kind of a carry on from the last one, which really was about spirituality in business and effective relationships in business or business relationships. And what I wish to do is to carry on a little bit more about that. But as we discussed the last day, you know, I said that we're all in business, whether we realize it or like it or not, whether it be as an employer, an employee, or whether it be, quite frankly, just literally going to the shop, where the person who serves us, being an employee, is serving us, the customer, and we are going to the shop, as it were, as a customer. So we're all, really what I'm getting at, we're all interacting with each other. And what I love to call that is not only interacting, but interconnecting. And the era that we're moving into is, as we've discussed numerous times beforehand when we were talking about relationships between people, is that we're moving from a dependent stroke codependent to interdependent era. And that interdependent era is the era of all of creation, apart from adult humans, or indeed the human, where we were programmed to become dependent and codependent. So we are effectively going through the most crucial time in the evolution of this species, which is no more and no less than our, as we have said numerous times before, remembering who we are, what we are, and why we're here. In other words, we're returning back to that which we originally were, which, as we've said numerous times before, spiritual beings on planet Earth having a human experience. So the business aspect of the human experience relates to us all, whether we are a customer or whether we are the business person or staff or management or whatever. Now, this morning I posted about leadership versus management, where we manage things but we lead people. And the new era of management, we touched on it the last day, is leading from the front. Well, where else would you want to lead from? Because it's not possible to lead from behind. But the old era of doing business was push and pull, whereas the new era is lead, direct, guide, from the heart, and the head being a tool, the head and the body being tools of the I am, soul and heart. And it came to mind today about one of Stephen Covey's books, and I wanted to touch on it today. It's called Principle-Centered Leadership, a book that I read many, many years ago, and I'm going to recommend that for those of us who are either in business or aspiring to, or are indeed any of us who desire to be leaders. I mean, aren't parents leaders and would-be parents? Okay, so who have we got? Gabrielle, lovely to have you with us. Matthew, my buddy, how's it going? Yeah, we're going to talk soon, buddy. I'm just so busy. By the way, update. The old post office lodge, i.e. I am in the process of renovating my home, the larger part of the home, which was originally post office and general merchants. And it has been remodeled. Or we say in this part of the world, renovated, remodeled, refurbished into the old post office lodge, relaxation and well-being center. So that is very much underway. So I haven't been wearing these clothes, believe me, for the last few days. I've been wearing the painting clothes and the DIY clothes. Yeah, real work. Anyway. So, so announcements. First and foremost, our dear friend Brenda McFadden has had her operation and is well on the way to recovery. So heartfelt, sincerest gratitude to all for all your healing, thoughts of healing, heart hugs. And on Brenda's behalf, I am passing on her sincerest gratitude, which I'm sure she will in due course herself. But that's a quick heads up on our dear friend Brenda. So good news. Thank you for all your heart hugs and healing in Brenda's direction. One-to-one appointments. Those of you who would like to have assistance in helping yourself become, as I call it, healthy self, heal thyself, please feel free to contact me. And my email address is info@samueljennings.life. My website is samueljennings.life, and I will attach the LinkedIn profile as well. And I can't actually text it in the description below, but there you go. info@samueljennings.life, website samueljennings.life, and my LinkedIn profile, which I will attach to the bottom for those of you who are in business. Okay, also a quick heads up, our dear friend Anthony Carlin, and mentor in the, or about to become a mentor in the Awakening Academy. He and his partners, stroke wife I should say, Maxine, are having their inaugural Core Hurts Healing Workshop this Sunday here in Northern Ireland. And it's a distinct possibility that that workshop may be a live webinar, or maybe 4 different sessions on the Awakening Academy in due course. So I have been very, very kindly invited along to that, and that is this Sunday. So I won't be recording this Sunday, but it's highly likely that I will record on Saturday. Okay. What else have we got? Yeah. Okay, so let's do a Relax I Am Within. Who else has joined us? Yeah, Michael, thank you very much for joining us. Great to have you with us. So the Relax I Am Within. Much of what I'm going to share this evening really pertains to this. And I will go into that in more detail, but the Relax I Am Within is a mantra and a breathing exercise. Very simple, childlike simple, so much so that Matthew's 2 boys actually got it within a day. It takes adult humans slightly longer, maybe 2 days, but depends on how much we do it and how often we do it, and if we use the prompt, the reminder, the trigger I call it, on stick-it, post-it notes all over our homes. So this is a tool that was given to me 21 years ago by Wally Minto. And Wally Minto had 2 missions in life. Number 1, to teach the world the Relax I Am Within mantra. And number 2, to teach the world to heart hug. What does that mean? Heart over heart. Now, those of you who are parents, especially mothers, you know that when you're cradling your child, most of the time, if not all of the time, you do it perhaps without even thinking. Now, there's a clue. Mothers do this without even thinking, and some fathers do too. They cradle their child over their heart. Yeah, it's what we do. Why do we do that? Well, it's our innate sense. It's instinctive. We cradle the child over the heart. There's a very good reason why we do it. Okay, the relax I am within exercise balances the left and the right brain, balances the logic with the creative, balances the head with the heart, merges the head with the heart, merges the me with the I, merges the ego with the soul. It is so simple, but it is so, so powerful. I received a message today, or was messaging with someone in London, and this lady has been doing this for a few weeks since we started on here. She's been watching us and interacting on the messages. I'm not going to mention her name. She can in her own due time. And an invitation has been extended to London to do some live workshops. And that's a quick heads up. No date's been set, but that's going to be happening in London, UK. Now, what she actually said was that the relax I am within is not only so simple, but it's so incredibly powerful. And she has already been sharing it with many of her clients and in her professional practice. This is so powerful, folks. Very, very powerful. So Wally Minto, unfortunately, passed over. He left this physical body 19 years ago. And I took it upon myself and a number of others across the planet whom Wally actually knew and worked with. And I don't know if others are carrying it on through, but I certainly feel it upon my heart because it had such an impact on my life to continue to share that relax I am within mantra for the last 21 years and the heart hug. So hugging heart over heart. When we hug someone, and they may not even realize it, in fact, they probably don't. When we put our heart frequency over someone else's heart frequency, the heart is 5,000 more times electromagnetic output than the brain. So it's a good idea to live from there, you know. How much more powerful would we be? Not only ourselves, but if we shared the heart energy with those we love and care about. And if we are huggers, we don't even have to tell people what we're doing. But in general, especially in the Western world, people hug from this side to this side. But please try hugging from the heart to the heart. In other words, left cheek to left cheek. Okay, the relax I am within mantra. Breathing in through the nose. There's a reason for that. Why is that? Because the two nostrils, one nostril goes to one side of the brain and the other nostril goes to the other side. That's how it works. So it's harmonizing. The male and female within ourselves brings our male and female side, our logical and our creative side into harmony, operating in harmony and in oneness. So simple. So let's do this together. In through the nose. And repeating the word relax, 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 relax. In through the nose. Repeat the words. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. In through the nose. Within, 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 within. Thank you. So this, hi Phyllis, thank you, great. Thank you very much for joining us. What time of the day is it down there, my word? Great to have you with us, Phyllis. Early start for you. Yeah, the relax I am within mantra is for me, it was a precursor to meditation. And the objective is to bring us back into this child state of consciousness, where we are in the child state of being, which is the alpha frequency, where we absorb information and learn at least 10 times faster than we would in the adult brainwave. So a wonderful, wonderful thing to do if we are studying, or if we are, quite frankly, being or doing anything, until it becomes our natural way of breathing, as we did as kids. Okay, very powerful, incredibly, incredibly powerful. Okay, so today's content: leadership and management. Lead people, manage things, and the major benefits of merging the heart with the head and the head with the heart. All right, let's get into this. The heart is much more powerful than the brain. Feeling is much more powerful than thinking. Comes to mind, I mentioned it the other day, and I put it in a meme today. As a man and woman thinks in the heart, so we are. Thinks in the where? The heart, so we are. So understand now why we do the relax. I am within. I am is not here. I am is not here. I am is within. As a man or woman and woman, as a human, we think within. We think with the heart, which is the feeling. It's 5,000 times more powerful than the brain, apparently so. It's our spiritual being. It's our co-creative capacity. So that's what the Relax I Am Within does. It brings us out of our problematic thinking, fear-based head of past and future mindset, altered ego mindset, fear of the future and regrets of the past mindset, never being present, bringing us into the co-creative ability. What is co-creator? The co-creator is the I am that is within. So the I am that is within creates, and the head is no more and no less than a tool for the expression of the co-creation capacity. We talked a lot about it actually last week. Idealization, imagination, image, ination, visualization, the outpicturing of the ideal and that which is imagined, that which feels right. Yeah. So how does this pertain to leadership and management? Well, we manage with the head, but we lead with the heart. We lead with the core. Who do we lead first? Ourselves. Charity begins at home. Whose home? Our own home. How can we share principle-centered leadership with others until we ourselves are principle-centered leaders? Where did I say? Principle-centered. That is value-able. Value-able. Values are within. Values are within. Yeah. So value-able. So how much value have we got to give until we recover our own value? What do I mean by that? I'm talking about self-worth. So how can we have self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect until we fall out of fear into love? So falling in love means returning back to the I am that is within, the co-creator, and then the soul and the heart is the ideal, and then it is sending the message up to the head, and the head through our body expresses that which is the ideal. Valuable is valuable. So the valuable is all down to how much capacity have we to be of service. And you've heard me say in a previous video that the true nature of wealth is our capacity to be of service. The true nature of wealth is our capacity to be of service. So how can we serve others until we have the capacity within ourselves to serve? So this concept of self-love means that we've got to honor and respect and nurture and care for ourselves like the oxygen mask. You remember the last time you were on an airplane? Those of you with children, fit your own oxygen mask first. Why do we do that? Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not available for others. And I have witnessed this numerous times in business. I did it myself. Had to learn the hard way. Cared more for others than I cared for myself. Ended up giving from an empty vessel, nothing to give. It's called burnt out. So those of us recovering from burnout, who do we got to give to first? Well, we got to withdraw from the drain, stop the rot, and plug into the source. What is that? The I am within. And refill ourselves until we are overflowing. That is our capacity to be of service. It's the overflow is the capacity to serve. When we are fulfilled, self-worth, inner self-worth, self-esteem, self-respect, self-nurture, we then have the capacity to give from our overflow. And how can we be overflowing unless we are continuously connected to the source of that which provides the flow? If you know, we've often heard about being in the flow. Well, that's what that really means. We cannot be in the flow of the universe until we reconnect to the universe within ourselves, i.e. the co-creator. So that's what principle-centered leadership is all about, you know. We lead from the front because we're leading from within. And that's it. So when we stay within, when we stay connected to the source of the power, when we can stay connected to the source of the well, as you know, Christ talked about, actually, the well of water springing up, when we stay connected to that, and what is that? All that actually is the I am within. That's all it is. But that's the big all. Believe me, that is the all. That's the difference that makes all the difference. There it is. The spiritual being expressed in the human experience. We've gone over it so much in recent videos. So the spiritual being is the I am, soul and heart, expressed through the body, the mind and the body. Principle-centered, principles, value-able, principle-centered leadership. Yeah. A much more easy to manage things when we are managing ourselves properly. How can we manage things until we're in control of our own lives? That's called managing our lives. It's called healthy balance, work-life balance. So I'm going to get into a number of these. If you want to maybe grab a pen and paper, if you wish to take notes, that is, of course, please feel free to take notes. So combining the feeling with the thinking is 90% being and 10% doing. We talked about that the other day. The spiritual being is 90%. The mind and the body is just 10%, just like the iceberg. So when we are living from that place, when we are operating from that place, that's when we then, being a co-creator, we are at one with the creative ability of the universe, or the I am that I am, God, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And all we are then is no more and no less than a channel for the expression of the I am operating through us. So life takes on a completely new meaning. And what am I getting at? Well, what I'm getting at actually is what our dear friend alluded to recently, Jim Carrey. Society is collapsing and people are starting to recognize that the reason that they're feeling mentally ill, physically and mentally burnt out, that's what mentally ill is, burnt out. How could they not be? I was there. It's called the breakdown. Everything is breaking down. The breaking down of the world is a result of the breaking down of the altered ego mind. It was broken when humanity disconnected from the source of its power. I mean, let me ask you a simple question. How useful is a vehicle if it's disconnected from the source of its energy? Huh? You know, I want you just to imagine sitting into a car with no engine. Are you nuts, Samuel? Yeah. That's it. So when we're disconnected from our power source, we're like a car with no engine and no driver. So the driver, actually, if you like, is the I am presence. And the engine is the soul and the heart. And the body and the mind is the vehicle. So how useful is a vehicle? How useless is a vehicle without the heart and soul, the engine, and the driver behind the wheel? Very simple analogy, but believe me, that's the way it is. So let's put the driver behind the wheel, which is the I am, within, and get that engine put back in there, which is the soul and the heart, so that the vehicle can be of use and service. Because it ain't much good standing still without an engine, without a driver. So society is collapsing. People are starting to recognize that the reason that they're mentally ill is that they're living in a system that's not designed to suit the human spirit. That applies to business more than anything. It applies to us all. But in business, the old era of speed and greed and scarcity mentality and profit before people is over. Look around. That's why all the major corporations, etc., 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 are having unprecedented challenges. Yeah. So let's get back to valuable. Our true nature of wealth is our capacity to be of service. Yeah. You will get anything, we will get anything out of life that we desire for ourselves by firstly helping enough others get out of life what they desire for themselves. And team, together, everyone achieves more. Togetherness, togetherness, namaste. Can you imagine namaste in business? So it's inner self-reliance and interdependence. That's how it's going to be. It already is for many of us, for some of us, and hopefully for many of us in the near future. And that's the way this world is going to be in the not too distant future. Let's imagine it happening right now for us. Let's make it happen in our own lives now. Because the more of us who do this, the more of us who be this and do this, i.e. be the change, the more of us who are it, the more there will be. Because our vibrational frequency will cause other people to ask the questions. What are you on? What are you drinking? Can I have some of what you're on? Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You see, when we're bubbling up with this, when it's bubbling out of us, it's just who we are. You know, it's the true color shining through. You can't stop it. I mean, I just want you to imagine trying to stop an absolutely connected source of unlimited flow. That's who we are. So when we reconnect to that, it just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. The only way it can be disconnected is by the fearful head taking over again. And this is why we set up the Awakening Academy group page and the Awakening Academy, you know. Why? Because the most vulnerable stage for everyone in the ascension process is that middle stage. Because the war, just to very quickly recap on that, it's the battle, it's the civil war between the head that has had supremacy, the altered ego had supremacy, and then the I am presence in the soul and the heart wakes up, wants to take back control of the life or take over the control of the life, and the altered ego says, you think so? Civil war. That's why the middle stage of the ascension process, which you remember, amnesia, breakdown, awakening, breakthrough, and enlightenment. That's the 5 stages. So the middle stage is the most testing of all, really. Because people are coming out of the dark and they're heading to the light. They're coming out of fear and heading into love. But you think the fear-based head, altered ego wants to let them go? Not easy. This is not easy. And this is why we set up the Awakening Academy group page in the Awakening Academy to help people. That's why I run these support group workshops. That's why I do one-to-ones. That's why, you know, those people who are ready have had enough crap in their lives, had enough of the breakdown. Yeah. So, you know, a way shower is no more and no less than an individual who can lead the way. Principle-centered leadership. But how can we share that which we haven't yet mastered ourselves? Huh? Yeah. Okay. So the other day I talked about intention, relaxed intensity. Relax, I am within intensity. It's effortless ease, folks. Relaxed intensity is effortless ease. One of my mentors, Leslie Feger, put it beautifully in one of his books. And by the way, I'm going to, in an upcoming video, maybe the next one or the next one, I'm not too sure. But tune in, because I'm going to actually run through a list of books and courses and that I have utilized in my life to help yours truly. And I'm going to go through that list as a recommended reading and recommended. And you know, just on that point, we all have the guru within ourselves. I touched on this the other night. G-U-R-U. All right. But whilst we're moving out of breakdown into awakening and heading on to being breakthrough and enlightenment, when we actually get through this breakthrough stage, we're becoming our own guru. And whenever we arrive at enlightenment, and all enlightenment actually is that we have become a master of the altered ego. That's all it is. It's in light, in mind, the light of consciousness operating the mind, spiritual being having a human experience. That's all enlightenment is. So we have become a master of the alter and of the ego. Yeah. So, our principle-centered leadership. So the tools that we actually have used, it's an honor and a privilege to share those tools. Because why would we have been given the tools in the first place if we were just given them to hoard for ourselves? Huh? I mean, that which was shared with yours truly, it's an honor and a privilege to share. Because the more we share, the more we receive. And that's how it is. That's the order of it. You know, we talked about the builder. Sorry, we're talking about builder. Yeah, I'm going to come to that one in a second. We talked about the gardener and the farmer. Plant first. Sow first. Share first. Reap after. That's how it works. That's how the whole thing in creation operates. The altered ego mind doesn't operate like that. It wants to have first before it plants nuts. That's the way we were programmed. So that's why people became dependent or codependent on something or someone outside themselves. So inner self-reliance is we plant first. Where do we plant? We plant in the internal. And then whenever it grows, it becomes into the external, just as the same as we talked recently about the fruit on the tree. Where does the fruit come from? Does it come from the outside in, or does it come from the inside out? Principle-centered leadership, valuable. So the more we become, the more we have to share. So simple, so simple. And you know, it all starts with that. All right, let's move forward. So one of my phrases that I share with my clients and in the workshops is follow your heart. Listen to your gut feelings. Follow the heart, the seat of desire, and the will. Listen to the gut feelings, the solar plexus. Put the two together, and that's intention, relaxed intensity. Yeah, so simple. Spiritual being. Let it out. And then we respond. Some couple of weeks ago, I talked about the blackbird. And those of you maybe who want to hear about the blackbird story, you can let me know, send me a message or whatever if you want to hear it again. But the blackbird, very quickly, the blackbird actually sings before it eats. And then when it is in position and in receipt of the message to act, it acts immediately. What happens then is that the blackbird actually goes directly to its provision, i.e. whatever its breakfast is or dinner in the evening. All birds, just watch them. There's none of this frantic scurrying around, human stress-filled, manic, egomaniac activity. Where's the provision? People worried about not having enough, fearful mindset. Do you think the birds have a fearful mindset? No. Continuously connected to the source, that's why. So, please get this. Gratitude expressed. Asking for the provision. With expectancy. With gratitude. In allowingness. And anticipation. With complete self-worth and belief that A, we are worthy to receive, and B, that the source has the wherewithal to provide it. And when we are prompted to act, we act immediately. That's the blackbird story. What does act immediately mean? It means engage mind, engage brain, engage body, and go. The Christians call it waiting on the Lord. That's what that means. We respond when we are told to, within the intuition. So our tuition that comes from within tells us when to act. What does that mean? It means being in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, doing the right thing, because it's the right thing to do, at the right time. That's what is called divine guidance, or divine, well, call it intervention if you wish, but it's divine guidance. It's in divine guidance is no more or no less than the I am within, telling us how to be and what to do and when to do it. That's it. So the altered ego mind is defunct, no longer required. The ego mind, just a tool for the expression of the internal. External, expressing the internal. Okay. All right, I'm going to run through a list of things here if you wish to take some notes, and then we're going to do a Gregg Braden exercise. What time have we got? Oh, my word, 20 minutes, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go. This concept of using the intuition. Decisions are made by the head. But if the head is in a fearful place, a fear and control-based mindset, what kind of decisions are they going to be? Well, I know what they were in my life. Down a rabbit hole, cul-de-sac or worse. 7.5, 8 years of burnout, chronic fatigue, and ME. Yeah, not worth it, folks. Not worth it. All right. So, the primary objective is living from our intuition, our innate sense of inner knowingness. The being directing the doing. The major benefits of using the intuition. So I'm going to run through a number of them here. There are many, but I'm going to run through, I don't know, maybe nearly 20 of them here. Okay, so the first one I've touched on, following the heart, listening to the gut, and the head responds. Choices are made with the intention. We give attention to the choice, and that's a decision. So the decision is made after the choice. Please understand that's the order of it. The choice is made by the heart and the gut. The desire and the will, that's where we make the choices. We make the choices from that which feels right. And then the decision follows the choice. Please understand that. Choice first, decision after. Inner guidance and direction all the time. And how do we maintain that all the time? That's how we do it. We get so used to using that relax I am within exercise that it becomes our natural state as we did as kids. Right place, right time, right people doing the right thing. Because it's the right thing to do all the time. Inner guidance and direction all the time. Trust. We talked about it with the blackbird. Operating from trust, instinct, and divine guidance. Doing what feels right. No worry, no stress, no anxiety. Can you just imagine what I've said there? No worry, no stress, no anxiety. You know, the word stress, civil engineers used to use it and builders used to use it. It was to do with bridges. Now the word stress pertains to humans. Yeah, out of whack, out of balance. I was once so myself. Relaxed intensity, not stress or pressure. Common sense, not so common now, is it? So when we are operating from this place of intuition, we have loads of common sense. It's also known as wisdom. We lead a balanced life. What does balanced actually mean? Well, we have a balance between soul, heart, mind, and body. And we have a balance between love for ourselves, nurture for ourselves, care for ourselves, nurture and love and care for others. Healthy work-life balance, true to oneself and others, achieve more by doing a lot less. We talked about that. The win-win. Inspiration is true and real motivation. Inspiration, intuition and inspiration, inspire. The root word of inspiration is spire. The root word of the respiratory system is Spire. Root word of aspire is spire. So what's the real meaning of spire? It's not a tower in a church, you know. The real meaning of the word spire is respire, inspire, aspire. That's the real meaning of spire. Intuition causes us to lead and guide others respectfully, caringly, with mutual interest and rewards. All right, I touched on it earlier, Principle-Centered Leadership by Stephen Covey. I'm going to put a recommendation in the description at the bottom here. Principle-Centered Leadership by Stephen Covey. I read it many years ago. Heart-centered internal values form the basis of our external actions, influencing ethical, heart-centered values in others, in the company and organization. There you go. By transforming one's own life and behavior first, we inspire others to do the same thing. Principle-Centered Leadership by Stephen Covey. Please make a note of it, and if you feel drawn to read it, please do so. It covers personal and interpersonal effectiveness, much of what we've been talking about here, healthy work-life balance, leadership and management, the difference between leadership and management. Okay, we're going to do an exercise here with Gregg Braden exercise in a second, but before I do so, just want to hold up this meme. The habits you created to survive will no longer serve you when it's time to thrive. Get out of survival mode. New habits, new life. Survival is where we have been. We have been in survival mode, just about existing, for aeons. The ascension process is taking humans out of survival and existence into thriving, into being spiritual beings having a human experience. The end of the old, making way for the new, which was actually the original. What a time to be alive. Wow. And I salute all of you who are listening here and watching, and will watch and listen in due course. I salute those of you who have been through the breakdown stage and in an awakening. I salute those of you who are in the breakthrough stage and on into enlightenment. You know, we're all in this together. 7 billion souls are being offered the opportunity of the ascension process for themselves. And it is the desire of Source that everyone will make it. Well, we can assist. We can assist as wayshowers, as rainbow warriors, as goddesses. What is a goddess and a rainbow warrior? An I am conscious being, spiritual being on planet Earth having a human experience, or at least focused thereon. Light workers. When we sort ourselves out, we are an influence and an inspiration to others. That's how it works. All right, I'm going to do a Gregg Braden exercise here. Credit to Gregg Braden. What I touched on at the very start on the promotion for this video this evening was merging. The major benefits of merging the head with the heart, or the heart with the head. So we're going to do an exercise here. The altered ego mindset world of the past is over. Making way for the new era. Okay, so if you haven't already got a pen and paper, I highly recommend get a pen and paper here, please, because this is an exercise by Gregg, Braden. So credit to Gregg, link to his video that he does this. But this is something that I have used, and it is amazing, and it's so simple. You know something? When we use the relax I am within exercise in conjunction with this, it's incredibly powerful. I mean, massively impactful. Okay, so just before we get into the exercise, very quickly, let's do the relax I am within exercise again. Breathing in through the nose, in through the nose. Relax, 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 relax. In through the nose. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. In through the nose. Within, 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 within. So when I do this exercise, or I share it with my clients and friends, and in the workshops, we use Wally Minto's Relax I Am Within, which I have been sharing, as many of you know. Gregg talks about just taking deep breaths, which does the same thing, but the Relax I Am Within is what I prefer to use. Okay, so let's do this. What I would like for you to do, if you wish, is to write down and acknowledge that your world has changed. Things that you used to enjoy in the past, maybe 5, 10 years, things that you miss. What I would like for you to do is jot down 3 or 4 things that you once enjoyed that are no longer there, no longer available, and that you miss. So if you would maybe kindly do that and just take a moment. One of the things that comes to mind is less time. So much to do and not enough time. Do you remember 20 years ago when we didn't have mobile phones? We didn't have people calling us, interrupting us. So things you miss that you once enjoyed. Okay. It may actually be places that you frequented that are no longer there. Or people, most importantly, people in your life that are no longer present. Perhaps the loss of loved ones. So when you have that written down and acknowledged it, I want you to ask yourself, what emotions has that brought up? What emotions? Are they sadness? Regret? Anger maybe? So those things that you missed that you thought of, what emotions has it brought up? So what I would like for you to do in a separate column is write the emotions that are attached to each one of those things that you missed. The emotions that were brought up when you thought of those things that you miss. Excuse me. Okay, so take a deep breath in through the nose. Relax, 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 relax. In through the nose. I am, I am, I am, I am. In through the nose. Within, 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 within. Now, those emotions that you may have experienced, that maybe sense of unease or regret or sadness or whatever, doing that exercise, the relax I am within, may have helped to dissipate those feelings. So we come back to the neutral place. You see, emotions are of the head. Emotions are relative to what happens or what has happened. Emotions follow thoughts. So when I ask you to think of things, I ask you to think of things in the past, which brought up emotions. But emotions are not who we are. They are a response from thinking, memories. But when we acknowledge that, and some of those memories may be the loss of loved ones, what we went through there was a thing called a mourning. Mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, mourning. So we are missing something, or missing someone, or someones, missing people, missing things from the past. But when we acknowledge it and write it down, we're expressing it and we're experiencing at a bodily level the reaction to those thoughts, which were past, things that happened. Okay, so when we did the relax I am within, we come back into the presence, the being present. Okay, so from this place of presence now, what that exercise does is releases and lets go of memories of the past and allows the space for that which is new to flow in. So when we're here in the source of universal consciousness, the field of pure unlimited potential, it allows the I am source to fulfill, and we attract all those wonderful things into our lives which replace the stuff from the past. Okay, so what we've just described here is a head exercise, but we're bringing into the heart, bringing into the core. And the actual physical heart, check this out when you listen to Gregg's video, that the actual physical heart has a neural pathway, connections, tissue in the heart, very, very similar to what's in the brain, but way, way, way more powerful. And, you know, Gregg actually discusses this. You know, we may be aware of people having had a heart transplant. And when they had a physical heart transplant, they felt different, not just physically. They felt they had somebody else's heart, yeah, but their values were different. Why is that? Because the neural pathway of the other person's heart was now inside them. So they had the other person's valuable ability, or the value ability within them. Within a heart transplant, yeah, absolutely. So you want to be very, very careful who we want to get a heart transplant from. Wouldn't it be wonderful, you know, just come on, don't want to play with this, but God forbid, you know, if we chose to be organ donors, if and when we pass over and our heart was in good shape, those of us with good hearts, be a nice gesture, wouldn't it? Just a thought or feeling. Anyway. So what I'm getting at is, as I touched on earlier and in the last video, was as a man and woman thinks in their heart, so are we. So the writer in the Bible, actually in Proverbs, he actually knew that. King Solomon, the writer of the Proverbs, he actually knew. And look at the wisdom that Solomon actually had. That the wisdom wasn't from the head. The wisdom was from the heart. As a man thinks in his heart, so we are. We are, so I am. I am within. You are within. Okay, so going to do a little exercise here very quickly. I would like for you, if you feel, in your own time or now, put your hand on your heart or your fingers in your sternum. I prefer to put the fingers in the sternum, just here. Touch the chest gently, the sternum. Deep breath in through the nose. This actual exercise bypasses the logical left brain. Just doing this. So does the relax I am within exercise. But if you wish, you can do this too. And it accesses the intelligence within the heart. As a man or woman thinks in their heart, so we are. So, lastly, go to the list that you actually have written of the things that you miss or lost in your life, and replace the negative feelings with the positive constructive, the negative emotions with the positive constructive feelings. Breathe into the unwanted emotions and replace it with inner peace, compassion, and love, contentment. Feel the difference. Feel. So repeating this exercise periodically, or if we're just starting it, repeating it as often as you feel so inclined to, highly recommend that you do it every morning for a while. Until the memories of the past and the emotions that are associated with the memories disappear. And we live from being present. Or I am within, soul and heart. Spiritual being directing the head and the body, having a human experience. Principle-centered leadership and management with the head directed by the core. Okay, it's been an honor and a privilege to share these things. I'm going to put a link to Gregg Braden's video. I have major time for Gregg Braden. You know, one of the things that we will be doing perhaps in the Awakening Academy, and I'm going to discuss this with Matthew and some of the other mentors, to listen to, you know, people like that I spoke of last 2 days ago, but Zig Ziglar now passed over, Stephen Covey, Bob Proctor comes to mind. This is for business. And then, of course, people like Gregg Braden, Joe Dispenza, numerous others. But I feel it incumbent upon us to share with you, to share with others, mentors that we ourselves have used and utilized. And as I said in an upcoming video, either maybe tomorrow or Saturday, I'm going to be sharing the names and the books of some of those. Neil Donald Walsh, wonderful, wonderful author. Divinely inspired. Started to ask questions, his hand started to write. Asked questions, hand started to write. That's downloads for you. So anyway, I'm going to do that in the near future. So without any further ado, enough for today. Thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you very much for being what you are. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your time. It's an honor and a privilege to share and to serve. So I honor you, I respect you, I love you, I care for you, but I wish for you to honor and respect and nurture and care for yourself. And those of you who aspire to be leaders, and I know those of you who are watching are, the way showers are leaders, those of you who aspire to be principle-centered leadership, value, able, capacity. Our true wealth is our capacity to be of service to others. So be it. Namaste. Thank you, and heart hugs.